Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There it is, so you don't miss any of our football content this season. It has been, if I might say, fantastic.
Everyone being surprised by Josh Allen, it bothers me. He is clearly the second best quarterback in football, and he has been for a couple of years now. Yards, touchdowns, wins since 2020. He's second in wins, he's second in yards, and he's first in touchdowns. All to Mahomes. You look at their numbers. Now, it's regular season. Mahomes obviously has him in the postseason, undeniable. But yards, touchdowns, wins. He's 2-2-1 in terms of ranks since 2020. And he doesn't have Andy Reid. He didn't have Tyreek Hill. He didn't have Travis Kelce. He is a remarkable football player. And so people are like, I'm so surprised that Josh Allen is doing this year. Like, why? Because he lost Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, who quit the last 7 games of last season. We need to do a better job, I think, of oh, you're not Mahomes, so we can pick you apart and criticize you. I'm not saying no criticism is fair. Mahomes has thrown 3 terrible interceptions this year, 4 total. Obviously anybody can be criticized, but if you've got a problem with Josh Allen at quarterback, then the only guy you're allowed to like is Mahomes. He's the only. It's a really hard position to be consistently great at.
Well, it's also have never. I've read every Phil Mickelson book, and he doesn't have the discipline of Tiger mentally, like physically. He didn't have it in his prime. If you take one person off the planet, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson has 8 more major wins.
Yes.
There's sometimes. I mean, the Utah Jazz are considered kind of a dynasty. They've got 2 titles without one player, Michael Jordan. We don't appreciate in life how these occasional meteors change. Charles Barkley never won a title. Again, go to the final against Jordan. Jesus, Charles was insanely good.
Insanely good.
I mean, you go back to those Suns teams. This was before everybody took threes. Danny, Google the games. They were scoring 134 regularly with mid-range jumpers. They were Barkley's team changed the league.
The CEO of Burger King does very well for himself. The guy who runs Pepsi, he's great. He's got a lot of houses. It's not McDonald's and Coke, but it's okay. It's okay to be second best when you're Peyton Manning. It's great all time. Now, listen, I'm one of the last people in the world who's willing to at least entertain a Peyton Manning was better than Tom Brady argument. But my thing about Peyton is I've never seen a quarterback control a game more than Peyton Manning did.
I think he literally changed the position.
Correct. And the other thing that I love about Peyton's legacy, 4 Super Bowls with 4 coaches. Yeah. He was the system. 4 Super Bowls, 4 different coaches. That's pretty crazy.
Peyton's LeBron. He is the system.
Correct.
Tom and Montana were part and elevated a great system.
Yeah. And you can't deny what they have in the trophy chest and the winning. And I'm not going to argue against it, but singular dominance of this guy is the system and you win because of this guy, no matter what else you got. Peyton is in a class of his own in that regard. But yeah, it's people are are you worried that Jaden Daniels is better than Caleb Williams? I'm I guess a little, but it's because it's all a crapshoot. And it's about situation, and no one really knows. I think Caleb's going to be great and going to be fine, and I think he's gotten better week to week to week. But, I mean, what would J.J. McCarthy be doing right now if he was getting the Sam Darnold reps? Would we be talking about him as an undefeated quarterback?
Yeah. Well, in the preseason, it looked amazing.
That's what I'm saying. So, who the hell knows? Bo Nix 1 week The guy can't throw the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Last week, he's slinging it all over the field and signaling first down and like playing with a bunch of swagger. I'm like, the league is, I can't believe that I gamble on it every week. It's impossible. Like it is impossible.
So I played a game today with J-Mac on the air, and we were talking about Deshaun Watson. And I said, Deshaun Watson is considered a star, but if you had a minute 30 left in a game, one timeout, and had to go 70 yards, doable. Same players. Would you take Gardner Minshew or Deshaun Watson to be your quarterback? And I said, I'd take Gardner Minshew because he moves about as well as Deshaun. He plays with more confidence, and I think he's more accurate. And he's like, no, that's crazy. And so we got into talking about this, and I said, Jaden Daniels or Trevor Lawrence? And I said, here's what I know about Jaden Daniels. He moves better than Trevor. He appears to be more accurate than Trevor. And I love Trevor Lawrence. But I have seen him now. That Buffalo game, which was at least the first half, a standalone game. Dude, he missed a crossing route that is any college quarterback can make it effortlessly. He missed a pass in the flat that he was low and behind him. And I said, he's too loose. I said, he looks like a quarterback that if you said, hey, you want to go golf Friday afternoon or watch more film? He'd choose golf. He's too talented to be that loose and bad on the layups.
Yeah.
It's not mechanical because he was great in high school. He was great in college, and he's shown signs. Thursday Night Football is on. It's only on Prime Video. Best season yet, packed with big rivalries and even bigger stars. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung every week. Games you can't miss. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with football's best party. TNF tonight, Thursday Night Football tonight. If you're not a Prime member, no problem. Sign up. 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime. Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. You put Trevor Lawrence out there right now. Minute 30 in a game. I would take Kirk Cousins over him. I think I'd take Gardner Minshew over. I'm not joking on Trevor Lawrence.
No, I think that it is totally fair. I do think that you can lose your mechanics. You brought up golf, right? Like any
golfers do.
Yeah, any golfer will tell you that you can lose your mechanics, you can lose your swing. So I do think it is in play that Trevor Lawrence is, I mean, hell, Mahomes said it this week that he doesn't think that his mechanics are completely locked in, that he's relying too much on his arm and he's not with his feet and his footwork. So I do think that when you have an arm like Trevor Lawrence, which is a top 10 arm in the NFL, it makes it possible that you lose your fundamentals a little bit more. And so I don't think they're going to bench him. Like Doug Peterson was like, anything's on the table. I'm like, I don't think it is. Like, I don't think you're benching a $250 million quarterback, but I do think that you need to be working on footwork, fundamentals, and breaking them down a little bit. Deshaun Watson in week 1 looked like he forgot how to play football. We charted it. He had 6 passes that landed out of bounds. Like they were just like straight not catchable balls. And then that's not including airmailing guys, throwing it at their feet, turtling up. So I think he's regressed. I mean, he's been a little bit better since, but he's regressed terribly. Trevor Lawrence has regressed terribly. And Minshew, it's just funny you bring him up. What I've always said about him is like, he's going to go down swinging. Like he's a fun quarterback to watch.
And he's confident.
Yes. Oh, and like delusional confidence. Like he believes he can make every throw. It's like Mario Chalmers when he was on the Heat and he had teammates that were LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. And he was like, why don't you ever draw up the final play for me? And it's like, he's like, I hit a pretty big shot at Kansas in the Final Four. It's like, yeah, buddy, but that's Dwayne Wade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're Gardner Minshew. Why do you think you can make that throw? But like 1 out of 2 or 3 times he can make it. And so he does it. So he's a fun guy to watch. But I will say too, man, it's hard. Quarterback play in the NFL is very clearly hard. It's hard to project.
Yes.
It's hard to pay. It's hard to be consistent in. And so that's also why, and this isn't what you asked about, but I'm going to say it anyway.